Imagine never having to stand in line at the tax office again. Sounds amazing, right? In today's explainer, we're going to show you just how easy and convenient it can be to pay your property tax online in Butler County, step by step, even if you're doing it for the very first time. But, well, there's a pretty massive catch. If you think paying online is just a simple matter of clicking a few buttons, you might want to double-check your county lines. Today, we're diving into the surprisingly chaotic, highly decentralized world of U.S. property tax collection to show you why a seemingly simple online task is actually a fascinating bureaucratic maze. Because here is the trap. You've gathered your necessary documents, your tax bill, your ID. You open your browser, search Pay Butler County Tax Online, and you click the first link you see. Well, you might be walking right into a minefield. You really have to ask yourself, which Butler County? The United States property tax system is so heavily localized that one single name can mean entirely different rules, online portals, and penalties. So let's just quickly run through today's agenda to see how we'll untangle this administrative chaos. We're looking at 1. The 8 butlers, 2. Who collects, 3. Digital gateways and fees, 4. Municipal rules, 5. Timelines and penalties, and finally, 6. System decentralization. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. The 8 butlers, a geographic paradox. Okay, so let's start our comparative case study, because the name Butler County isn't just one place. It actually fractures into wildly disparate local systems across the country. There are literally 8 distinct U.S. states that boast a Butler County: Alabama, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Now, you might assume they all use similar software or follow federal standards for online payments. No way. They share almost nothing in common when it comes to their fiscal mechanics. If you're preparing to pay online, your absolute first step, before entering any property info or account numbers, is verifying you are on the correct state's website, because the rules in one jurisdiction will completely fail in another. To put this abstract bureaucracy into perspective, think about a place like Butler County, Nebraska. It's a 585 square mile jurisdiction where a median property tax bill is around $1,593. If you live there, you're using a specific online system called GWorks to pay your taxes. But if you accidentally log into the Ohio system to review your transaction, you're going to get very confused very fast. Moving on to Section 2. Who collects? Administrative authority. This brings us to a fundamental question. Who is actually in charge of taking your money online? If you're in Ohio, you're paying the county treasurer. Simple enough, right? In Missouri, you're looking for the county collector. But incredibly, if you live in Butler County, Kentucky, your current property taxes are collected by the sheriff. And if you fall behind and become delinquent in Kentucky, authority shifts completely over to the county clerk. Imagine trying to troubleshoot a payment rejection and realizing you need to figure out which local official actually holds your bill right now. Section 3. Digital gateways and fees. The cost of convenience. So once you know who you're paying and you've found the online payment section, you have to choose a payment method. And this is where we really need to talk about the hidden costs. When paying by credit card, you'll notice technology vendors dictate varying margins behind the scenes. Pennsylvania's vendor charges a 2.50% fee. Ohio's vendor, Point and Pay, charges 2.35%. In Iowa, it's around 2.20%. On a $3,000 tax bill, those percentage points add up to a pretty significant chunk of change just for the convenience of paying from your couch. But hey, check this out. There is a way to avoid those high fees. Look for the electronic check, or ACH, option. In Butler County, Ohio, paying by electronic check will cost you exactly $0. Yep, $0.00. It is entirely fee-exempt, which is a rare, absolutely fantastic win for the taxpayer. However, that convenience has a wildly different price tag depending on which state line you cross. While Ohio is totally free, Butler County, Nebraska charges a $3 flat fee for that exact same electronic check, and Pennsylvania charges $1.50. It's just wild how the exact same digital step costs something completely different depending on where you live. Section 4, Municipal Rules, the Pennsylvania Anomaly. Let's dig a little deeper into the extreme fragmentation found within specific local jurisdictions. In Ohio, the online formal requires a 14-character parcel ID with absolutely no dashes. But in Pennsylvania, you have to use exactly the right formatting with dashes, like 000-000. And get this, the quirks in Pennsylvania don't stop at formatting. If you live in the city of Butler in PA, the local treasurer explicitly rejects all forms of electronic payment for current taxes, cash or check only. Even wilder, Butler Township literally pulls the digital plug on its online payment portal from December 16th to December 31st. You are forced back into the Stone Age of cashier's checks to settle up before the new year. This is exactly why keeping printed receipts is so crucial. You can't always rely on the digital records being online. Now, Missouri has its own digital roadblocks. If you're trying to pay this year's bill, but you forgot about last year's, the online gateway will physically prevent you from moving forward. You're locked into a strict delinquency sequencing. Step 1, pay the oldest delinquent tax year in full. Only then can you unlock Step 2 and actually gain access to pay your current year tax bill. It's a hard-coded mechanism to ensure the county gets its oldest debts cleared first. Section 5. Timelines and penalties. The cost of failure. Let's see how this administrative chaos extends to deadlines. One of the most frequently asked questions is about due dates. And man, the cost of failing to know your local timeline is steep. In Pennsylvania, as we just saw, some municipal online portals cut you off on December 15th. In Kansas, your first half payment deadline is December 20th. In Missouri, Alabama, and Pennsylvania, at the county level, the current year deadline is December 31st. And by the way, if you pay early in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, you actually get a 2% discount. The dates and the benefits vary wildly. Honestly, setting up calendar reminders for future tax deadlines is one of the smartest things you can do. Because if you miss those dates, the penalties hit hard. We're not just talking about website errors or a forgotten password here. In Pennsylvania, a returned check is a $35 fee, and a bounced e-check is $15. But it gets much worse than simple administrative fines. In Alabama, if you don't pay, your property goes to a digital tax lien auction in April. In Kentucky, your debt is turned into a certificate of delinquency and sold off to third-party purchasers in August, who can then impose massive cost on you. Which brings us to Section 6, System Decentralization, a need for hypervigilance. The overarching basis of our explainer today is this. Paying your taxes online is incredibly convenient, saving you a trip to the courthouse and the hassle of stamps. But that convenience masks a highly complex, deeply decentralized reality. As the research points out, navigating these fragmented systems requires a precise understanding of each county's digital payment architecture. Assuming one rule applies everywhere is a dangerous game. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, the information we're sharing is accurate as of the time of this recording, but rates and rules do change. It is always best to verify directly with your official local county resources rather than assuming last year's process still works perfectly. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. We just looked at 8 totally different places, all named Butler County, all operating in completely different ways. It makes you wonder, do you truly know your own local tax laws? Before your next bill is due, take 5 minutes to audit your own local government's quirks. You might just save yourself a massive headache, a late fee, or even your property. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found this helpful, please drop any questions you have in the comments section below, and subscribe for more content. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.